Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks, and I am your lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I am so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Saturday morning. It is officially kickoff season for the Arizona State Sun Devils. The number 11 ranked team in the nation opens up play tonight against Northern Arizona, and it's going to be incredible. As of this recording coming out tomorrow morning, it's going to be an undeniable blast of a game. It's going to be a sold out house with temperatures in the low 100s to the high 90s. Fans are just so enthralled with this team, so excited to see what is to come of this season that they're showing up in droves in this weather. That just tells you all you need to know about the belief in this team, about how much people really do buy into the fact that the 2025 Arizona State Sun Devils will be one of the most historic teams in the history of the program. Possibly even more so than 2024. We shall see, but I am so excited to be covering this team each and every day for you, because of you, and I can't do this without all of your support, so I appreciate it so much. But before we get started diving into today's episode fully, please follow me on X/Twitter at khicks_21. I will be posting game updates throughout the season on game days. I will be getting video content when I'm at games. I will be getting press conferences, everything in between, my story content. That's the most convenient way to find me as on social media. So please do that. And let's get started in today's episode. So something fascinating about the 2026 Sun Devils happened yesterday. I mean, it probably was in the works for some time, but it's still fascinating nonetheless. So next season, I believe Arizona State was slated to take on the Bowling Green Falcons to start, first week of September next year. They were slated to host the Bowling Green Falcons at home in Tempe, and Bowling Green is obviously coached by NFL legend Eddie George right now, but the Falcons backed out of the game at some point during the offseason, according to AD Graham Rossini at an event yesterday. So they kind of had to rebound, and they ended up scheduling Morgan State, which is an FCS school, and it's not an ideal situation, but it really points to the fact that Coach Kenny Dillingham, Rossini, as I previously referred to, they're very forward thinking, and that's enough to satisfy fans, I believe, because the old guard is no longer in Tempe. There's not very much backward thinking like there was under the previous regime, and that's just simply a good thing through any lens, that they're able to adapt to unfortunate circumstances. And the real thing that I wanted to get into is because, like, Bowling Green getting dropped from the schedule isn't that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. But possibly losing SEC teams on your non-conference schedule, that could be huge. That could be absolutely huge, and that's really what I want to talk about. We've talked about it a little bit previously, but we haven't dug into it on a deeper basis. So obviously, Arizona State right now has Texas A&M scheduled as a home and home series starting next season. They'll go to Kyle Field in College Station second week of the 2026 season, and then they'll return to Tempe in 2027. And then they have a home and home in Florida, a home and home with LSU, and a home and home with Texas. Obviously, fell to in the Peach Bowl, which was a classic college football game. That's four SEC programs with significant pull that they are set to play over the next roughly 8 years, 8 to 9 years. And we talked about this, like I said previously. The SEC shifted their conference schedule recently. They've approved the 9 game conference schedule arrangement instead of 8. And the potential for a program like a Florida to have to play a Georgia, they play Georgia every year. That's my mistake. A program like Florida being tasked with playing an Alabama or an LSU, or that's just an example. Imagine Florida having to play Arizona State on top of all of those SEC teams that they play. Florida and A&M in particular, out of those four, are probably going to have to rethink how they schedule non-conference, because they need each and every win that they can get. And when you're playing a program that has the trajectory that Arizona State has, even out of the Big 12, there's a real chance that you lose that game. And you might end up looking at struggling to get bowl eligibility, let alone reach a college football playoff appearance. So they're really going to have to think about that. The SEC does have a policy that you have to schedule a Power 4 opponent, but realistically, what's stopping a Florida, what's stopping a Texas A&M from canceling ASU and scheduling a team like Wake Forest that just beat Sam Houston State, or who was it that, yeah, Wake Forest defeated Kennesaw State 10-9 last night. So when you're Florida and you're looking at your SEC gauntlet 9-game schedule and you see Arizona State on top of that, what incentive do you have to play Arizona State, especially if there's a good chance that you lose that game? You could just schedule Wake Forest, pad the win total a little bit, and set you up for at least having a decent SEC season. Now, LSU and Texas might be different. Those programs are kind of beyond being in the fringe of college football playoff conversations. Obviously, it's easier said than done to make the CFP. It's only a 12-team field, and there are 5 auto bids, so there's only 7 bids to go around. They're at large. But Texas and LSU are really 2 programs that are in position to be ranked that high every single season. I don't really see that ending anytime soon, and I don't really think having Arizona State on the schedule would put an appearance in peril, even if you lose that game. But it's really going to be challenging for Arizona State moving forward to get a solid non-conference schedule, especially if these teams start backing out of things. Let's see. They have Hawaii on the non-conference schedule. They have UNLV, which if Dan Mullen's still there, that could be decent. Cal Poly, Northern Arizona again in 2028, San Diego State, another home and home with them. Outside of the SEC programs, it's pretty thin in terms of the competition that you are going to see come through Tempe. They have games scheduled through 2029 with outside of SEC competition. So we shall see what's going to happen with the non-conference slate. As for the 2025 season at hand, the Sun Devils are traveling to Starkville, Mississippi next week to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who were the worst team in the SEC last season. But they are still a pretty talented team. You can't really discount them too much, and there's always the possibility for inclement weather this time of year in that area. The fan base is very, very lively. The crowd, they have one of the best home field advantages in college football that nobody talks about. And we shall see what happens tonight against Northern Arizona and next Saturday against Mississippi State. That is really all I have for today. I just want to thank each and every one of you once again for the support, and I will be talking to you after the game. I will record a podcast once again on Saturday night to discuss what I saw, any potential rapid reactions, and what I expect the Sun Devils to be ranked going into next week. At least that's the plan. So thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.